Hello and welcome to some more Factorio. My name is Trismegistus, and today we are going to be continuing my blueprint series where I am trying to build myself some standardized blueprints. Oh, hello, Crazy Bacon here. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Sunday. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Everything's on. Just like to make sure all the levels are okay when the start up, because it's not very good talking and no one can hear you. Right, so we'll get the blueprint series loaded up. Oh, actually, I didn't put this as... Oh, does that matter? I'll leave that. Right, let's get the blueprint series loaded up. That one there. You good? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Yeah, I was up quite late, for me anyway, as a an old fart watching the old Eurovision. UK came second to Ukraine. It was a strange piece. That seems very quiet again. Oh, I don't know what they've been doing with the sound. There was another update on the headset, so I think they messed something up. That's better. There was an update on the BBC, actually, sort of. I don't know, it's a bit of a strange article, really, because the point it seemed to be making was that actually Eurovision's not political. And that the reason we've not done so well, the UK. I don't even... Are you European? I don't know. Probably doesn't mean anything to you if you're American. I know it's a mysterious mystery to most Americans, Eurovision. Or wherever you're from, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's sort of the point it seemed to be trying to make was that the reason, because the UK has just done horrendously the last 20 years. And I say the point that seemed to be, why does that have a W on it? Weird. The point it seemed to be trying to make in the article, and why have I got a random... Strange, was that it's not political, you know, that it's actually just because we've had bad songs. Now, I would argue that yes, we have had bad songs. But Ukraine, well, let's put it this way. It wasn't a bad song, the Ukrainian song, but there's sort of a political situation going on in Ukraine. And if you look at the maths of the votes, they got 12 from, like, I think it was like 98% of the countries. It wasn't that good a song. So that was an entirely political thing. So the idea that the UK's done badly because it's, you know, not to do with politics doesn't seem to hold water, because the whole point of the Ukraine winning is really because it's, you know, the war in Ukraine. Bizarre. Anyway, yeah, so that probably doesn't mean anything to most people watching. The plan today, basically, so we've got to the stage where I've built the blueprints for all of science. All of science is done. Oh, there's a note on there. I wonder if I fixed that or not. Wrong alignment plus acid. Plus acid. Ah, is that because... That could well be not fixed yet, because... Ah, yes. So the plan with my new blueprints, my new way of doing things, is that I'm not bussing sulfuric acid or lube. I'm making them locally. So actually, this blueprint is wrong because it can't get sulfuric acid from anywhere. But what does wrong alignment mean? What do I mean by that? Wrong alignment plus acid. I'm not sure what I would mean by wrong alignment. Why is there a splitter in there? Have I got Alt off? No. Why is there a splitter there? It could be... Let's have a look at the blueprints. It's a long time since I picked this up, so apologies if I'm... Maybe I'm just using it as a marker. And that's how long it actually should be. No? What would the red one look like? Because the idea, basically, so to explain this series if no one's seen it before, it's basically... No, that's the same length, isn't it? I don't have a standardised set of blueprints, so I've never built myself a standardised set of blueprints. Because I always enjoy, building them each time. Don't understand why that splitter's there. Could be something to do with rate. Let's get the old rate calculator on there. So the idea of this series is to build myself those blueprints, basically. So, what wrong alignment means? So if this was express belt, so it's nothing to do with rate. No, I don't know what that's referring to. Yeah, but anyway, so I say I need to fix whatever that is. Policies to cover for my peanut bread. So you're taking 4 belt of green in the future? Maybe. So as in, this doesn't actually supply enough green circuits. And I needed to work out some way of getting more green circuits in it, maybe. But I did have... Because it's only half a belt. Let's do its items per second. Because 112... Is that seriously saying it needs 8 belts of green? Yeah, you're probably right there then. Because that would be 2, 4... I mean, that wouldn't even be 8 in and of itself, would it? What do the other ones look like? I wasn't planning on doing this, so I might just leave it and then work it out. Work it out offline. I didn't realise there was a problem. Because this is what? So that's 2.3 belts of green. Crikey. Yeah, so it looks like it's that I've completely underestimated. I probably kept adding on things. So I think you might be right there, Crazy Bacon Head. Because that then is 3.3 belts, isn't it? Which would be 1, 2... Well, 1, 2... 2.5, so it doesn't even supply it on the red. So I would actually need that there as well. Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Okay, I'm going to leave that as a problem because I'm not sort of interested in fixing that. What I really want to do is work on the other builds. So essentially the ones I've mapped out here. So, oops, inserters and things like that. I usually do something very similar to this, as in we could probably just copy and paste sort of well, let's get the yellow one. No, let's work with the blue. But we don't, well, I don't usually give it as many. So the thing with these builds, I'm not kind of intending them to be like, how to put it, continuous flow. So if they end up starved, of cogs, as in, so they fill up boxes, and that's all they're there for. They're not actually intended to run continuously 100% of the time, So getting resources in is, if it's starved, it's not actually that much of a problem. It just needs to be able to run okay. Do I normally put 3 on? I think I normally say chop it down to 2. Get that. Yeah, that seems right. And then how do I normally do this? Because basically we don't want this to make yellow inserters as such, not for us to keep. We want this to be straight into blue inserters. But obviously to make blue inserters we've got to make yellow inserters anyway. But do they operate at the same rate? Yeah. Okay. So if this was, in fact, what does that need extra? It does need plate, doesn't it? So they're very, very similar ingredients then. Because what we then want, what I normally then do, is then have a separate one that we then feed into green inserters, and then hive off a little bit for that to go into white inserters. Now reds require regular inserters as well. So do that, and then also, oh no, that can't be. No, they need to be those, don't they? So we could have some arrangement like that. Yeah, because what I seem to recall what I normally do. Yeah, because it's not enough gears, but I'm not that fussed. I say because it's just about it making enough more than lots. That makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't. Yeah, okay. So how are we going to arrange these? Because this does need iron plate as well. Yeah, and what we can do... Oops. Is essentially have that where it would be more cogs. It just comes into the middle. Because we need greens to get them both as well. No. That doesn't look right. That's because it's not right. That needs to go there. And I've put them slightly too far over. There we go. So then these guys can get like that. Yeah, let's do one of them. And then obviously this comes out the middle. Feed these. But we also need some green circuits as well. We could do that relatively easy by... I guess I should have used the yellow belt to start with, I think. But we can go there. That. Except that'll need to be somewhere slightly different. There, maybe? Because that then can go underneath. Like that. And then we can both grab them. Because that's... Well, it's green and red at the moment. It may just need to be green. So I'll flip that one over. And then we need exactly the same business on the other side. So that this guy can get some bits and pieces. Oops. So it now has, well, it needs that, doesn't it? Flashing's driving me nuts. Put some in there. Why they're not up? In fact, Let's do that. Yeah, I think they're going to downgrade everything. So we want to go from that to that. And then all the belts. That. Oops, other way around. That to that. That to that. And then missed. But what did I do with the yellow version here? Yeah, it's just blue inserters. Okay. Swap all of them out as well then. So outputs there, inputs there. Yeah, so it probably needs to be a splitter rather than a thing, because you're going to need green circuits as well. But that doesn't reach, does it? So that needs to be there. Okay, so what we actually need is to pass these over. As I say, we're not interested in... can I make that a bit tidier? No, that's fine, I think. So put them into a chest there. Because say we don't actually care about making yellows other than because we need them. And we can put a long-handed there. In fact, would it be better to... Probably better just... because there may be a need to recycle. So actually, if this was a chest, I could replace it with a requester at some point. Could have that in, say, the red blueprint. Blueprint. So then that's another one there. This also needs gears, doesn't it? No, it doesn't need gears. That one needs gears. That one needs gears. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess there'll be a power pole there, so we can put that in the middle. So has that got everything it needs? Yes. So we can have that one. Could be in the middle, couldn't it? So this would be with the yellow level. Am I using? Oh, okay. So I'm assuming I've got at least storage chests. I think that's a fairly safe assumption. It's requesters and stuff that you don't get till later, isn't it? So we've got iron ore coming in on this line here. It does need iron ore, iron plate as well. But it doesn't need gears, but it does need green circuits. So, and we could get a little weird with it. No, we couldn't, because that's undergrounded already. So if we do that, because this one does need reds and greens, and that one just needs greens. That's a bit inconvenient. So 1, 2, 3. Because if we made this one reds and greens, then we could split that again. Because that's just those, isn't it? So if we put oops. And this one does need the gears. I'm mixing up my machines. That's not very good. If I move that one in, then we get away with that. Well, it didn't fit anyway. We'll do that there. In fact, you'll need somewhere to put these, so this would be a storage chest. And then another one there. So, white assemblers. We get greens from there. And we could put that there, I guess. Because that one needs that as well. Well, I could do side loading and stuff to, you know, just bring the greens over and stuff like that, but it's a tiny number of green, reds that would just sit there. So I'm not too fussed about that. This does need iron plate, so that's that. This does not need iron plate, but does need both circuits. That one's just that. So it should function. This one won't though, will it? Because it's not done. So if we just mirror that on there. Wait, what did I do? Oh, I put it on the outside. So, oops. Do you need? Yeah, you need green circuits, don't you? You don't need gears, do you? No. So green circuits and blue inserters. Like that. That'll be all the way around. What's coming in there? Iron plate, so it needs that as well. This one needs to be one of those. Cool. Right, well, let's test whether that produces anything. So, where's my matter thing? No, matter source. There we go. Matter source, very different from the matter horn. Now there's a terrible pun. Right, so this is just green. This is just iron plate. Just iron plate. Not just. Red and greens. I feel like I didn't really explain in the series properly. So yeah, so I say I never made myself some standard blueprints. And when I was playing through so it should actually be level 1, shouldn't it? If we're doing something similar to that. See, what I'm wondering, one of the things I'm wondering with this, because this bus is really only about doing science. It does have a little bit extra, but it is only a little bit extra. So I'm wondering if there should be like an appendix of belts here. So once I've got all of that, you know, running, as it were, set up to go, we start adding extra things in. The trouble is, this, or rather the yellow belt version and this one as well, would be needed a lot earlier. So if I was to add extra belts, they would go over the top of these because they're going to be here basically, like they are. But yeah, and I did a series where I tried to build a mega base, and basically found that half the series was just taken up on me getting to rocket launch, because every time I play, I build a new set of blueprints. So these need to be level 1 mixed, don't they? So if we take some of these out, in fact, let's just get rid of all of it and redo it. Yeah, so I sort of decided, right, well, I better make myself some standard blueprints so that... And they're not really intended for anyone else to use. But just so that I can play the game through quicker. How many Spidertrons a minute are going to make? I'm thinking about 5 a minute, something like that. So, I mean, obviously not capped and stuff, which they need to be. But this one isn't working, and I don't know why not. Oh, because I've not put a thing there, have I? So I need to cap all the chests and fiddle about with that side of things, but yeah, so this is, it's like a stealth Mega Base series in that I'm using creative mode to just design myself, you know, a load of stuff that we can use to essentially launch into another Mega Base series. But the idea is it's like, I've taken it all away, I think, haven't I? No, it's all still here, but it's like starter bases, a way of doing anything, which I've never really done. I never really do these. I just sort of, it's a very weird, in a sense, way that I play, because I tend to I plow through to sort of robots, and then everything grinds to a halt while I build the bus. And the idea with this is, by having these proper starter bases, it'll keep, you know, I don't have to, because what I end up usually doing is like deconstructing the rubbish that I've built. And so hopefully these are a bit more organised, a bit more sensible, a bit less, you know, messy to deconstruct if I want to deconstruct them, because I can keep them as well. But that's sort of what I'm trying to go for. Everything seems to be working, so if we disconnect all of this. So it's broadly the same what I do with these every time anyway. We're going to need a roboport on. We can get, say, in there. Did I line them up? I did. So I'll do the upgraded ones offline. That's not particularly interesting sort of watch. Yeah, it seems like I'll swap in requesters, so the yellow inserters will just get thing, which is one of the reasons I probably would need to, you know, deconstruct these, because these will be in, you know, I would upgrade these to, you know, passive providers and stuff for the bots to use. So we get a, you know, infinite supply of them. But yeah, so we want to stop. I actually think it's probably too many gears, isn't it? Really. And I know it says it's 10 down. But these are so quick. But I'm never going to supply, you know, enough stuff. But right, so what would we do? We would connect. That doesn't actually, it's not actually on the thing, is it? So what can we do there? We could put that there. Have that a reverse one. Can I get rid of that then? I can, but that's not covering it. That's annoying. So if we do that instead. And that, in fact. That's a bit horrible, but it's fine. I could put it in the middle, couldn't I? Would that work? So in other words, if I put this right here, effectively. And then we don't need that split. And we can just underground it over. What else do you need? Because you just need green circuits, which you'll get from there. And greens. So I need to rethink this. Let's just take it all out and redo it. So it might still need to go like one up. But instead of that, because this does need gears, it also needs red and green, which is getting from there. It then needs to put them in one of them. go into there. In fact, I could tighten all of this up. Full stop, couldn't I? Because we'd have... In fact, that's kind of convenient, because those are the two filter requesters. And you just need green circuits. Whoop. And that's it, isn't it? Oh, that's super neat. I like that. I mean, this is a bit pathetic for what this needs. But eventually it'll get upgraded and stuff anyway. But I could maybe... So I quite like that, how neat that is. But yeah, why are you moaning? Oh, it's because it's not powered, is it? What have I done? Yeah, it's just a regular. Until it gets... Oops. Thingy's in. Let it charge up, and then that complaint should go away. Yep, there we go. Okay. Right, so let's put some limits on. One there. Where's the red one? There's the red one. Actually, put it there. So these are 2 yellow chests. And then, what did I do? Oh, it's got lighting on already. Yeah, okay, so... Am I using... Let's be consistent. Am I using... Green... No, I'm just hard limiting chests. But I am using connection. Okay, so I'm not using smart. So that would be that. And that was just a direct insert. So then this needs to be set to only, oh, I don't know, 200 or something. Oops, not 2,000, 200 of them, maybe. And then we want... Did I do that one? I did. So that one is... Oops. Where did I click on that? That one... I want loads of them, so... I don't know, 1,000? Just wanted to chug away at that for ages, because it's sort of... I wouldn't need that many until really, you know, end game, really. But if we're going to end up building some big factories, we want a good supply. So again, let's do like 1,000 of them. These, I mean, it's just a stack or two, isn't it? If that. Can always bump it up. These. Again, just a stack. Did I do you? Yeah, I did you. That one needs doing. And obviously this is between them, so it might actually be sensible to use a wire on those. Because it could easily be that they put everything in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to wire them. Because we want to make sure there's some in each box, otherwise the production of the other ones will stop. Can you do both conditions? Oh, you can. That's interesting. I didn't know you could do both of them. So we say 500 in each box. Do I also want a... I mean, that's sort of irrelevant, really, isn't it? But yeah, I didn't know you could do both conditions. Always thought it was one or the other. Interesting. But what we can do, I say, this can be replaced by like a buffer chest later on when that's available. So that it will request stuff in if it's sat in the network generally. But I could always, you know, chuck in a, you know, extra requester or something to pull, you know, spare ones in there and in there as well. Okay, so we're going with wires so that we can have 500 in each chest. So that it will definitely produce these. But these are logic limited. Yeah, cool. Okay. Next one then. Is what? So, can work on anything really. So, those are the big ones for like volume production. I mean, the next one we should probably do is like assemblers. I'd do something very similar for assemblers because they do need a lot of gears. Oh, excuse me, but I don't normally. I don't think I do it. Do I do it three across? Let's just plop some down and see what it says. Oops. See what it says numbers wise. Because again, these are in the territory of. I want it to make them, but I don't actually care. They're not going to be running eternally. If that makes sense. So, numbers wise, what would it say? Because that's all balanced, but it reckons we need 2 belts worth of gears. Okay. So, how would we produce 2 full belts worth of gears? We would need 15 extra machines, and that's my point, because why would we have that many machines? You need gears, and you need gears, but you don't, do you? No. Okay. So, instead, could we do something like that? So it's still way down, but that's fine. The big one is producing the level 1 speeds for them. How do I want to arrange this? Because could just direct insert. So if I'm not going to bother about producing them at anything like reasonable volume, I can actually just go with direct insertion. You know, 1 each, as it were. Because this isn't a, that's an additional thing anyway. Could we then arrange that? So if they go into a chest, oops. 1, 2, 3. And then that's, eventually that becomes the 2. And this can be swapped out for a requester to pull the upgraded things in. And similarly, we could have a requester here to bring those in. And what, because they both need similar things. So it's like plates, gears, and green circuits. Gears and green circuits, no plates. But that obviously needs plates. So, in fact, let's just do that. It's going to be quite wide though, isn't it? Not a massive fan of that. So if those were direct insert, you see. Yeah, not a massive fan of it being so wide. It's already a pretty thick bus already. Pretty thick bus. And I could maybe... That was... Yeah. I mean, they're going to overfill a... Oh, no, no. So it's only half a belt. Okay. So if we just come in there like that... Oh, no, you don't need iron plate, do you? Oh, no, no. So if I do the gears on the middle, I could do iron plate on there, or have it come in there. Why have I put them one apart? I never asked you. I don't know if you'd still there, Crazy Bacon. How's your You do play Factorio, don't you? I know because you asked me that slightly left of field question, so I assume you do play. Do you have a factory on the go, or are you sort of between factories, as it were? Why am I making such a construction? Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that sort of shrunk down version of it. Let's just have the iron plate come in there. I'm like, yeah. So then output there and there. Wait. Oh no, it does need iron plate, doesn't it? So the question then is the green circuits. So these probably do need moving down. So I can get the green circuits in somewhere. So if I put them there. So this is the iron plate. That's the gears. I mean, I could always have another one. But doesn't that then consume an entire lane of... Oh, it would be 3 lanes. Okay. So even that needs 2.7 lanes. So if we did... I mean, is there any point doing that then if it can't even cope with that? And this is green circuits for these two. Could make it combine green circuits and steel, I guess. But then, because we need to do, or I could do the old splitter trick. Do that. Because we're going to need to put some speed 1 modules. Because that was going to go out there, wasn't it? And that'll be a requester eventually. And that's feeding in there. And this is our ultimate end goal. So these would be speed 1s. And then how am I getting the steel and red? Don't I? Reminds me of Mass Effect, this particular song on the soundtrack. Right. And then I can have the steel coming in there. So this can be... So that's iron plate. Full belt. This is red and green. And this is steel. Because then we've got red and green there. Red and green there. So none of it's like at rate or anything like that. That's not what I'm going for. It's just, it's going to make some. If it's one of the things I decide I need to go mega scale on, then there'll be a separate factory probably making them. So this would be that. That way round though. That's the belt. Right, so lights and power, lights and power. So this is like an appendix to this. So it's not actually, wouldn't be in the yellow belt version. It'd be the red belt version anyway. But yeah, lights and power, lights and power. I guess it does need... I've not lined that up at all, have I? So if we move this, so the first machine is lined up there. Bang. And then move this back. So that's lined up there. And then on the belts, underground belts to avoid all of the roboports and etc. That. Okay, so it does need a roboport, I guess. Wait, have I got that out of line? No, that's fine. So we need power thing there. And what else? We need power there. We need connection to the system overall. That one there. Excuse me. Why is that not connected? 'Cause it's too far away? Okay. Just going to move that up a little bit tidier. And then power poles, because this will be here. So we're going to need one sort of in the middle. For that build, you're unpowered. That's not very convenient of you, is it? Do something like that, maybe. It's a bit ugly, but fine. And then this, when this came on as a red, is that all powered? Yeah, that's all powered. Yeah, not a fan of those power poles. At the very least, put them in the middle. So that is powered there. If those are the power poles. But then this isn't, is it? So maybe there and there. And then that's not powered. Flipping machines. Well, that's annoying. That's annoying. Because there's going to be something in there, so I can't just stick one in. What if we move... so it can't power on either side. Okay. So if we do that and that, and then there's that one there anyway. Yeah, that'll do. So it's a red belt thing anyway. It just gets added on. Because the red belt, I do go to green though, don't I? Yeah, so it should be green machines. The green machine. So yeah, so I add that on as part of the red version of it. So, it's way, way, way down on gears. But it's also down on plate, so there's no real point in having these guys chewing through all of the plate. And, you know, starving them effectively. Okay. Okay, so that's the manufacturing machines done. We then get into sort of like scrappy territory. Because we kind of want like electric furnaces, oil refineries, chemical plants, centrifuge. So we want all of these things. All these manufacturing machines. But I usually sort of all build them all together and try and do like almost like mini malls. Where they're all together. And like I usually try and put rail together, but one of the things I'm trying to do with these sort of science builds. So for example, rail is obviously built in purple. Where the heck is purple? Must be up here somewhere. Oh, there you go. So there's a purple. So the idea is it's got extra rail in it. So I'm not going to build a separate rail build. It's just what it's being produced by the bus, effectively. And like I'm not going to produce them separately because they're already part of the bus. And that's one of... I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but one of the things I normally do is produce those as a separate area, and it's just pointless because we're already making them. So we need to discount certain things, which is what I would not... which isn't what I would normally do. Why are there two belts just sticking out of nowhere there? Feels like there's a machine missing. I've clearly been fiddling about with these blueprints because those are the bot making machines. I know I've taken them out because without them, if they're in there, it gets ridiculous numbers because the bots are made so quickly. That's why those aren't there. But yeah, like so for example, batteries are made here now. Rather, so there's not going to be a battery production area. Any batteries, you know, for accumulators I'll make locally. I'll just insert them rather than having them on the bus. Same with electric engines are there, regular engines. What else we got? More regular engines, gears, and the military. You know, so the basic red military. So when it comes to do uranium, what I'll actually probably do is add it on as a appendix here. So this is the red belt. So I'll have some kind of additional, you know, uranium ammo production there instead of, you know, what I normally do. So what was that to? So those are those. There you go. So if I put a requester for that in, it's going to be making them infinitely, and I don't really want it to do that. So I have to be careful of a few of those things. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what's a sensible thing to start making next? I guess we could work on power. We could also something like... It's kind of how... I don't know how I want to arrange them in this. Because I've got modules there next. So we could do a little module build, I guess. If that's what I was thinking to do next. So I guess if we think about that in terms of the end game version. I normally do this one, the... I don't really call it, the sort of... Got that in the wrong place, haven't I? Because that needs to overlap like that. Or it's like the direct insert version. I'm not entirely sure why I'd use that. Because it's not actually all that efficient. But these are just going to be modules, I guess, for... You know... We could actually build an efficiency one. I normally just handcraft them. So it's 5. Because they have a nice ratio, these, because it's like 5 in 30 seconds. 5 in 60 seconds. Sorry. One of them takes 60 seconds and requires 5. And one of those... So for level 2, it needs 5 of them. And it's like a 30-second craft time. So... It's like a 1 to 2 to 1. It'll make sense when it's all laid down, but no, wrong one. So that needs to be a 2. And these all go around the edge. And then each one of these needs 2. Forms quite a pretty pattern, but so I don't know that it's particularly efficient. Is that where they normally go? Because you do need you need room to put the belts in, obviously. That doesn't look right. Why doesn't that look right? We'll just put the... Because there's something missing there. Put the things on and check the numbers. I haven't messed that up. I have. So I've got 1 extra level 2 machine. Why is that? Oh, because this should be sharing one. Just 1. Is that right? Yeah, now we've got... Obviously, I've got to take them in. In fact, we could put one in the middle, couldn't we? Put that there. If that's any easier. Then that's like that. Is that easier? Not really. Oops. So I get direct insert there and there and there. So this is just for the, you know, the local production, basically. So it's relatively small numbers, so there won't be beaconed or moduled or anything. It's just to make enough to fill in basically all of them things. Although, do I want to direct insert? Because if I'm gonna have an arrangement, it might be better not to, because then I need some way of making like level 1s and level 2s, if that's what my blueprints have got in them. Because there are, I mean, technically there's some modules in here, but it's like so tiny. It's just an afterthought, basically. Oh, I've deleted it. It's in that one there. It's very much an afterthought of production. So I say we need some way. In fact, can I? So if there's a, oh, I've got chests on my popper. So if that was the level 3s eventually, could I get those via a chest rather than directly inserted? So if that was there, then I can swap them out for requesters when the time comes. I can recycle whatever ones I've made, and also I can build it so that, you know, it's stepwise, as it were. Same with these then, because it's flashing's doing my head in. So let's get a thing on. Does that cover them all? No. Let's do one. In fact, let's pop one in there. One in there. Power that up. Okay, that's better. So if that was putting into there, so those are the 2 level 2s going in there, and that's the, so that's like half a machine's worth. Okay. But I need these to be more via a chest as well, I guess. But I don't want too many. I guess I could put them. Depends what the belts are like. Oh no, I can't put them there, can I? If I... Let's get rid of that then. So if I did that... There and there. Oops. Da-da-da. That don't fit, does it? I know. Because that could go there and... Oops. There. And then that's... that. They need insertion there. Let's trace it back in. So this is the level 3s. Obviously it needs better, you know, I need to weave the belts around and stuff. But that then is the level 2s. Is there a tidier way of doing that? Probably. Just wondering if there's some way I can get them to go in the middle there. No, not keen. Could tighten it up though. But I probably need room for belts. We could go oops, there. This is more aesthetic, isn't it, rather than really practical changes. But we could put... No, we couldn't. Because... what am I doing here? So... Oh, of course that's overlapped by 2, isn't it, rather than 1. Not keen. Actually wants to be a flip. So this is me fiddling for no real purpose here, but it keeps me busy. So if they were like that, just sort of like that. So if that was... Yeah. So we got level 1s in there. So that's 2 level 1s feeding that one. Because it needs 4 in 30 seconds. And each one of those takes 15 seconds to make. So we should get even numbers of everything. So yeah, we've got net machines of 0, so it's all mathematically balanced. But I'm using chests because I can have a version of this that is just level 1. And then I can add the other bits in to the middle. It's a bit ugly. In fact, it's very ugly. Yeah, it'll do. Right, so, I mean, this green version would be powered with these. So we'll probably put 2 of them in. And we do need a place. Where the heck are the robots? Oh, I don't know. Just put them there. We could pretend that this was a slot for that. But even then, it's not central with it, so... So this is the final form. And what we need these is these to be connected. We'll just set this at... So this is the level 3s. And we'll just set it at... I don't know, let's do 500, but it's sort of a bit pointless, really, for that type of production. Now, these are for the level 2s. And we'll set that up. Because it's feeding in... So if we set that at 200... Nope. Not that. So that's a level 2. More like that. Oh no, we don't... We don't want them connected to the network, because otherwise they won't evenly... A bit like the... blue inserters. We want those connected via via wire. Like that. And the condition isn't a logistics one, it's a box condition, so it's that 200. Not 2,200. I suppose since this is the level... Have I got any requester chests? No. Not active providers. Requesters. Oh, I have. Where are they then? There they are. Since this is the final form, it would actually be requesting in these to recycle them. Just like this. Would be the same. Only this would be requesting level 1s. I need 100. Oh. Need them from buffers as well. And then we do need the circuit conditions. So that one there. Cool, and then circuit condition there. Oh no, I've messed that one up, haven't I? That should be that one. I did the same now. Oh no, that was fine. So those two and those two. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so this is that one. Did I already do this? Less than 100. Cool. Get some lights on it. And then got to have it glowing like a Christmas tree. Cool, so that's the final form of that. Oh, I never blueprinted this. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'll do all that later. So the sort of intermediate form. Oh no, of course it isn't. What am I doing? Idiot. I need to put the actual belt on. What a plonker. It might be better if it's turned sideways. So it's something like that, maybe? Probably be easier to get the belt in there. Let's give that a go. Right, so all of these need red and green. It's only the level 2 where it starts to need blue and red. So these ones in the middle all need blue and red, whereas these are red and green. So can we get that in there somewhere? Because we could have something like that, and that has then blue and red on it. And it needs to go in there and there and there. And then same on this side. And it needs... Got that wrong, didn't I? Needs to go on there. Why did I put that there? That's a bit untidy. Oh, hello, the Source Sage. Thank you very much for the raid. How are you doing? Have you been playing? And welcome all coming in from the raid. Hope you're doing all okay, having a good Sunday. You been playing Factorio, Source Sage, or... Oh, and a follow as well. Thank you very, very much. That's very much appreciated. So just to explain, so obviously this is Factorio. Basically, I'm working up some blueprints for myself because I've got quite a lot of hours in the game, but I never really made myself some standard blueprints. So what I'm trying to do is sort of build up a standardized set for me. I mean, I'm not really intending them. They're not meant to be the definitive, perfect, you know, super efficient blueprints. They're just blueprints for me to use. Because I did a series of streams where I tried to make a... There's an error on this, isn't it? Because that's not connected to anything. Tried to make a mega base for my first mega base, and I spent ages building, getting to rocket launch, because the thing I enjoy the most in the game is the designing. And basically I do that afresh every time. So I kind of thought, right, well let's shortcut that if I want to do another series making a mega base by getting some standard blueprints, or you know, standardized for me. Hello Graham, how you doing? Oh, redeem the guide the raid button. Oh right, I didn't even know that was a thing. So it shows you how rubbish I am. Oh, thank you very much for doing that. Play a lot of Factorio, but I was not playing this time doing the Binding of Isaac. Oh, Binding of Isaac, okay. Pretty good, thanks. How are you? Oh, yeah, I'm not too bad. I was up relative, for me, as an old fart, was up relatively late watching the old Eurovision. So yeah, a bit tired from that, I say, because went on till, well, it always does, goes on for hours and hours and hours. But so are you, say, the Sausage? Are you a general roguelite fan, or roguelite, whichever it is, or just Binding of Isaac? I know it's it's one I want to give a go because I know it's meant to be a very good roguelite, but yeah, I love that stuff. Cool. Would you recommend it as a sort of a? I have the only roguelike I sort of, how to put it, I've really sort of got on with was Enter the Gungeon, because it's shooting based sort of thing and it's quite comical. Would you recommend it as a general roguelike? Because, as I say, I understand it's quite a good example of the genre. It's an amazing game. Cool. I'll probably check it out then. I wouldn't be surprised if I've probably got it somewhere, because I basically always redeem. You know, the Epic game. I know people get upset about the Epic Game Store, but I think I've redeemed every single free game they've done, so I might well have it from there. It's the king of roguelites. Cool. Okay. There was somebody I used to work with, and he left sort of fairly recently, and he absolutely loved that game. And I was like, well, I should probably give it a go. Best one of my all-time favourite games. All right, crikey. That's a proper recommendation, that then. Right, so we need this type of contraption again. Like that. Obviously upgraded, but that'll let me position it, and then this would be sort of here, I guess, or somewhere. But this is actually going to be red and blue, isn't it? For them. But then these need red and green. So, bit of an unfortunate arrangement I've done there. I guess I could sneak it under there, because I need to wrap it around to get to this guy. This is actually way neater than... I mean, it's sort of ugly, but the way I normally do it, it ends up a massive, horrible spaghetti mess. And it's actually a lot sort of tidier for some reason. Or simpler in terms of the belts, anyway, definitely. So not I'm saying it's pretty or efficient, but good work. There was something I was going to say to you, Grim. Sorry, that sounded very, very weird. I'm not going to propose or anything. But I can't, because there was that enormous raid cave in that completely blew me for 6. And I think I was about to... I know what it was. So, you remember the Dark Tide? Warhammer 40k... whatever the heck the name they give, Demon's Gate, Dark something or other. It's a ridiculous name. I'd been moaning about it because you asked me about it, and I was having a big moan about it being not very well balanced. And basically, so what I was going to say was basically that I did restart on easy mode. And while it's still unbalanced, it's unbalanced in the other way. It's too easy on easy mode. I've done them different, have I? That's rubbish. Yes, so my complaining about the game, they have actually done a little bit of, well, they've said they're going to look at the balancing, but they haven't actually done it yet. So that's not very good, is it? Maybe... But yes, it was just to say to you that actually I did enjoy it. I am enjoying the game. I'm playing it through, but I'm sort of... It's very easy on easy mode. Like, super easy. I think actually some of it may be that it's, like, how to put it, the game mechanics. Actually, would that not be... Because if that's the end game one, it's at least going to be red belt. So, no, that would be too far for red belt. It's too far for blue belt anyway, isn't it? Yeah. So it'd need to be there for blue belt. So we can put that there. Because it'll be, you know, a red belt anyway. And then this can all move back as well. But yeah, I was actually, because I'd restarted it a little while ago. And it wasn't. I think I'd probably say wait, because I say they are looking at the balance. So this would be a red and green, wouldn't it? So I probably would wait for that, and certainly it's probably a great one to get in a sale, to be honest with you. I don't think it's full price anyway, but all right. Thank you for the raid there. So Sage, have a good hope you have a good evening. Hope you have a good scran. Catch me on the next one. Yeah, thank you very much. I say again for the raid. Very much appreciated. I need to get my confidence up. I'm not very confident doing raids. I'm always a little bit afraid that I'll take us to somebody who's horrible. I don't imply you're horrible, but you know, you get some characters, particularly because the channel is like meant for all audiences. So I don't want to take us to someone who swears the house up, you know, swears the house down rather. But yes, thank you very much for the raid. That's very, very much appreciated. And thanks as well again for Grim for. I didn't know you could do that direct raid thing. I'm a bit of a. It's ironic. I'm a bit of a rubbish chatter. I don't do a lot of chatting when I watch streams. I tend to be more a sort of a background. I'm usually playing something when I'm watching a stream. Not usually. Something seems to be wrong there, and I'm not sure what it is. Let's stick these on and test it, because I'm not sure that's 100% right, but we can always test it and see. So we want red and green, and we want red. Blue? Okay. The Sage is great. Yeah, I'll probably give him a follow back. I normally do when people come in for a raid. I don't really know what the etiquette on that is, but I normally do. No, check him out or her out. There him out. Use the channel points button to create whatever you like. The Sage has a do 10 squats button. Oh my god. I bet not have something like that, because that'd kill me, I think. Yeah, I know. I mean, I say, I threw a tantrum, didn't I, about the options and stuff that you get when you become an affiliate. So I need to look it up properly if I'm going to keep it, which I think I am now. But I think I got over my tantrum. Take a little second for these to kick in, because they have to make a few before it will work. This one doesn't have access. That's what's wrong. That one doesn't have access to any red and green. There you go. I knew there was something going wrong somewhere. In which case, because the easiest solution to that would be to have one coming up there, wouldn't it? And that needs, in fact, that's wrong altogether, isn't it? If I get things like we have with me sometimes. Yeah, so I think, I don't know. I mean, I do this as a bit of fun, really, as you know. But maybe I should have planned things out a bit better, you know. That's sort of the real issue. is I didn't really do any research about how to do any of the stuff. You know, basically how to do all the setting up and all that sort of stuff. I didn't really look at any of it. Which I say that's probably the real error. I should have looked and seen what you can actually do when you're an affiliate and how it works and all that sort of stuff, and had a plan for doing it really. But say I thought I could just sort of dive in and kind of have the perks without any of the problems, as it were. Which was just stupid of me, really. So I think I just have, because I could do some weird weaving round thing, but so I think it probably just put that in there. Yeah, I think that's just going to be the easiest solution. Okay, so if we move these down by 1, and then, I mean, that has to be a little bit of belt. So what sort of stuff does the Sage play? Is he I assume he's a fairly athletic individual if he's doing 10 squats. Crikey. It's all sorts of stuff, I imagine. Sorry, that was a bizarre question. A bit distracted because it didn't... Why aren't you running? Oh, it's just waiting for the numbers. Okay, okay. I think we're okay there then. Okay, okay. Variety stream, cool. You still on the old Elden Ring? I was really tempted to get it again. Because they're really quick with mods, aren't they? I never really appreciated how quickly they make some of these mods. But there's like, you know, that a lot of games have it, but it's like a tourist mode mod where you can just sort of play, you know, the enemies are all switched off effectively. So I never really knew how quickly they do some of those. Because I sort of, now that that exists, I could give it a go, and if it's, you know, too hard for me basically, or I don't enjoy it. Because I quite like to explore it. You know, I quite like to go around the map and stuff. See everything. Yeah, everyone seems to be running, so I think we're okay there. So it's not going to be moduled in, moduled in and of itself. That's kind of deliberate. It's more sort of small-scale production to put things into other machines, if you see what I mean. So we will do the downgraded versions, I think, because sort of need to make sure it works. So if I just put a little thing there, like that. So we need this. Still going on a Elden Ring. I mean, it's, at the very least, it's good value for money, isn't it? Sounds like it's enormous. Right, so let's downgrade them to red. Now we wouldn't, in this version, we wouldn't have this bit. Like that. And these would be... In fact, did I set any logic on these? Yes, I did, didn't I? I did it with circuit conditions. What about this one? Yeah, okay. So these need to be storage chests. And in fact, that's what I didn't do. This needs a filter on it. And then these need filters. But these are still requesters for this version. There's a weird inserter or two there. Get rid of that. It's one of the games where exploring is rewarding and makes the game easier as a result. First Souls-like, I'd recommend checking out a character build guide. Okay. I know it's one of those games where it doesn't tell you anything. Or, well, maybe Elden Ring does, but Dark Souls games, they basically don't tell you anything, do they? They're like, you know, here's a, you know, weird, you know, tree root. You know, like I can't think of an appropriate name, but, you know, some random item, you know, and you're like, well, what does that do? And it just doesn't tell you. Which I know is part of the appeal. It's not, that's, you know, how they work, as it were. Right, so the red version would not have these boys in. So we need to power it up separately. So, where's a... put one there. And then... could we then go... in fact, could we... no, that wouldn't work, would it? So that's there. We could put one in there, except it doesn't connect. That's too far away. One there. Nope. One there. Nope. One there. One there. One there. And then say... it's not going to reach everything, is it? Those two. Those two? That's not too horrendous. Yeah, okay. Want to get used to the combat. The hardest thing I find about Souls games is finding the next thing to do. Doesn't Elden Ring... that's one of the things they introduced, isn't it? That it's like actually shows you a you know, like a path, as it were. Because it's like, I remember seeing video of like a, it looks like a pixie dust sort of thing. That I think is meant, is that like the sort of critical path, as it were? Well, that's what I understood it to be. But I know certainly, because it's, you know, it's, yeah, it's no, or, you know, to me, you see what I mean? It's notoriously, as it were, bad at that. Or good, I guess, depends on your perspective, doesn't it? Of not telling you what you're meant to do. In fact, actually, it might be easier if I just take this again. And then we downgrade this one. Because then I've got the power balls all done. So if we go from red to yellow, red to yellow, red to yellow. Cool. It tends to be trial and error to me if I'm in an area where the SRE has a rough pointer system, but even then the main path can get tough. Right, okay. I say now that there's, and I say maybe I shouldn't say this because I know people, you know, it's the whole get good and all that sort of thing, but I say now that there's So that doesn't actually reach, does it? Is that like literally one tile too far? That's a bit rubbish then, isn't it? If I'm going to have to do like an intermediate step. But I suppose that's not there, is it? So, could I make that? Oh, it's too far then. I suppose at least it's consistent then. It's not actually needed there, but at least it's consistent here. And it doesn't, it's not needed in that one, so that's fine. Because we can get rid of... So it's the level 2 machines I need to get rid of. For this version. Did I turn these into requesters? I did. Yeah. Explore some more, a couple of items, or help a vast amount. What levels can it? Yeah. So I sort of saw someone, I wouldn't call it a review, but their sort of comment on it was, it is hard. Their games are hard, but in a sense the hardness is more to do with being exacting. You know, that if you make a little mistake, it's just not forgiving at all. And it just like totally punishes you for even the smallest error. Which, you know, say. Is fine, but say it's not. Sort of person who gets a bit frustrated if it's not like, well, like, you know, I was just saying with the Demon Hunt, you know, the Demon Hunters game where it's just a bit frustrating and that annoys me, and then I stop playing. So really, that should probably be there, shouldn't it, to make it a bit more pretty. Cool, okay. So this is the yellow belt version. And it makes level 1 modules. It makes them in a weird sort of distributed way. Because then I can just plop on the upgrade version. Which makes the level 2. So these actually need to become storage chests, don't they? Here. So that's the level 1. And the idea being, I'll actually build that fairly early. So that it can fill out, you know, well, I haven't got them here, but like the yellow belt versions of all of these have got, you know, have we got the yellow belt? Yeah, level 1 modules in. And they've got to come from somewhere. So this actually needs to be an early build. First, certainly this version of it. And then it's upgradable to level 2. And that then provides the level 2s and requests the level 1s back into the system so they get recycled. And then it does the same job but for level 3s. Yeah, cool. Because it's an open world, you can take any path you like. Kind of, it's one of those things, if you make mistakes, I find I'm never left standing there thinking, what did I do wrong? Time I lose, I learned something kind of, yeah. Yeah, say, I guess it's just nervousness at, you know. My experience of hard games, as I say, is generally of that thing of I just get, you know, frustrated and stop playing, basically. So what I could do, because one of the things is obviously you need some efficiency modules to build. Do you need it for Spidertron? Yeah, you need some for Spidertron. But you also need them, obviously, for the Mark 3, Mark 2 power armor. So we could, and I say, you know, well, I might as well just copy it up, but you know, there'll be another one that is prod modules as well. So there'll be a prod module version. But we could have just like a little build for efficiency modules. But usually when I do them, I mean, I say the level 2s I'm happy to handcraft. And usually when we're getting to Spidertron territory, we're talking about having all requesters and stuff already. And I just do little mini, almost like mini mall for the Spidertron stuff. Because it's all, well, you've got low density structures and RCUs, but it's all stuff that is only really worth making for Spidertrons. I never see the point in building a machine to make exoskeletons, for example. And I basically don't use rocket launchers other than Spidertron, so... No, let's not have a... I would say I've never felt a fight to be unfair. Yeah, I suppose that's the key, isn't it? If it feels like, you know, you lost because you made the error, as it were, and it didn't, well, to use a phrase, it's not BS, as it were. It's not a sort of, you know... In a sense, that was sort of my complaint of, you know, the Demon Hunters game, in that it kind of was a bit, you know, BS, in that some of the things it was doing just felt wrong, as it were. Or bad, if you see what I mean. And that is the most frustrating thing. Say, if it feels like you've lost because you've, you know, made a mistake and you know what that was, then that's, you know, a different kettle of fish, isn't it? That's not bad. That's just, you know, learning sort of thing. It's definitely, I mean, I don't know if you've played like Limbo or anything like that. They always had that motto of learning by dying, where it's like you, you know, you walk into an area and get splatted by a trap, and you learn, oh right, well I can't step on that. You know, that tile, as it were, that space. Yeah, okay, happy with those. So, question next then is, what sort of am I going to build next? So I guess I want to see am I putting pipes into chests in here in any way? These blueprints don't seem to be right. I don't think they're the final. I must have been fiddling about, because why are there, you know, half, you know, splitters that aren't splitting anything without any filter on them? So this can't be final version of this. Must have been doing something else with them, because surely that should go up there or something like that. I need to check out what I've done with them. But yeah, so am I making sort of regular pipes or anything like that around here? I mean, yes, I am, but am I putting them in a chest is the question. So that's the blue. So pipes would be engines and that sort of territory. Because that's quite late to be doing a pipe build. Because they're going on the bus. Oh no, I'm not even putting them in a chest. Okay, so we need a little pipe build, basically. Because I'm wondering about doing a pipe and pump. You know, a mini pipe and pump build. Because we could pair it with the power stuff. So all of that, basically everything on that row, we could build together. Because it's all busable ingredients. Could do storage tanks and... Oh no, chests I normally do, because... Although they've got... Oh no, that's just red circuits, isn't it? I think just be prepared to lose runes when you hit a boss. I shouldn't find it frustrating. Yeah. I'm only knowing because I don't know. What I normally build is I'll build like all of the power things together. You know, so I'll put power poles and blah 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 and all them, and I'll put all the trains together. But I don't know to what degree I really want to do that for this standardized set of blueprints. And what I want to combine, basically. That's the question. I mean, we could do the chests. Let's try and plan some of it out, rather than wafting my cursor around. So, if we had my standard thing, doing a chest, producer. In fact, I normally do 2, I think, because then we can do all of the loggy requests. Oops. So requesters. And I've got storage, so then passive. Excuse me. Active. Buffer. So yeah, it's claiming to be down by 4. But that's fine. Do I want to try and do them in line? Because it's all just steel, isn't it? And then red and green circuits. Okay. So let's put, if I put... So if we had steel coming in here... I think so. In fact, didn't it make them so fast that... Yeah, you would need over a belt of steel just to supply one. Well, I guess I'm talking transport belts, so that's fine. Express belts. So if you had steel coming in there, and then red and green here. Could I put something like on the other side that would make sense? Because I could also, you know, have a... Because I don't think I'm making roboports down there, am I? So difficult to tell. So, I think I'm making the robots. I don't think I'm making roboports. No, I can't be, because you don't need them for the science. So we do need something making roboports. But that would then need iron gear wheels. So we would then need iron from somewhere. But it needs loads of steel. So I don't mind trickle production of that, that's fine. Because they're also steel, but they're also copper. And that's more iron plate. That's engines, which is steel. That's also steel. I could put it on this side. So if this was an iron plate line coming in, then could I just have a... gear machine there. Where am I going to put the output for them if I do that? Because idea, if that was steel coming down there, needs to get to you so that you can do that. The output from these could go on there, and then we just long-handed across from there. And this is getting whatever's left. We need that for them. I mean, I could. Could I? Trouble is, they'll produce faster than a red. A long-handed will, you know, chunk them through. I mean, I could move this up. Where's the output for these chests? We can move them up. It's not do that arrangement that I do. No, so we need power pole there, power pole there. Needs to be one further up. So that I can do that. And then there. Right. Oh, got it in the wrong place. Okay. Oh no. What? Oh yes, sorry. So this is one of my specials. Oh, idiot. There you go. And then well, it could just be there, couldn't it? So it's sort of redundant in a way, because you know, it's like so massively underproduced. It sort of doesn't matter. Oops. These would go in here. Like so. And then they just grab green circuits as they need them. What's on there? That's just the chest, isn't it? So we could have that going there. And this is just eating all the reds as they come in. These are obviously we do actually need chests anyway, don't we? For trains and stuff, so could do that. Oops. Come on, there we go. And they output to there as well. Steel coming in there. So this has now got steel, gears, and advanced circuits. If chop that off there, have iron plate coming in there. Something like that. Lights on these lads. Line that up. That. Don't know why I did that, because it doesn't matter, but basically need one of them. where is it in relation to that? So, comes out and then it's machine up. Okay. Nice to have them lined up anyway. Comes out, it's machine up. So it wants to be there. So that's there. Oh. Hey. So, if I have, say, one of them there. Oh. No power. Okay. Can that be... No. That's annoying. Unless it wouldn't go on the other side. It's too long, isn't it? Oh no, that's what that works. But I've misaligned it in that way. Oh no, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody panic. So this makes those guys. Okay. Right, so we want quite a lot of steel chests. It's always something I underestimate. So what, maybe 500? Because stacked 50, don't they? So it's a row. Yeah, that'll do. So I want that in there. And then we need quite a lot of the storage chests. 100 of them. Quite a lot of the requesters. 100 of them. Not circuit network. Some. I used to use passive providers all the time, but then I kind of... In fact, I've not set the filters, have I? Discovered you could do that. I thought it was far, far better to do that. It's a bit tedious setting them all, though. It'd be good if you just copy them over. You know, you can do recipes. In fact, can you do that? No. No. So we also want a stack of active providers. Use them very, very rarely. And then a stack of buffers again. They're very edge case buffers. I've found a few uses for them, but it's pretty much something that can be done by either, you know, storage or active or whatever. They're useful for where you end up with loops, so you might have a storage and a requester, and you're getting some weird loop going on where it's putting one in, and or particularly active providers. You've got an active provider on the go and a requester, then you can get some weird loops going on. I can't think of a way of just demonstrating it, but certainly had bits in my base where things are basically moving around. Bots are taking them around in a circle, and buffers are a good way of avoiding that. You have to rethink it, but right. So, oops. This then is roboports. We want a good few roboports. We just want that. It's one of the few machines kind of want running almost continuously. They only stack to 10, don't they? Can't see them. Yeah. So that's 100. So that's 2 rows of roboports. Cool. That looks good. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all of the sort of bot-related bits and pieces. Because obviously the bots are being made with the science. The chests are now made there. Got the roboports. Now what I would usually do is like keep adding things to these. I'm not sure that's a very good idea. I could also, I don't usually make them, you know, in chests. I'm just sort of hand make them, but I think it might, because I've ended up being more, using circuits more, it might be worth actually making them. Because it's just, these are all exactly the same thing. Well, that's got an iron plate in it, but it's, you know, a wire and a circuit, 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 a wire and a circuit. It's exactly the same stuff. And we could potentially, because I don't know whether I want to build these modularly, if that makes sense. So as in, because what I could do is we could have this on the other side, you see. Because it's literally just going down for the gears, which is a bit of a waste, if I'm perfectly frank. So we could actually have this like here. I don't know why I've done green machines and yellow belts. Because then we've got iron plate and green, and I could put all of these on here, and we can have a copper line on the other side. So it's getting into the territory of what I've been doing here, of like putting everything sort of quite close together, and it's not normally how I would do it. That's sort of the point of this, really. Totally use circuit logic network to limit where what goes in the chest. So I can use the logistic filter on the yellow boxes. Where the smelt anything gets returned to the correct box. Yeah, so I usually use the... I tend to prefer the logistics network connections rather than wires. I tend to use the wires. So I'm using the wires here because basically I need things to be in the chest, but I want to limit the both the total number and the specific number. So that's a bad example because it's a requester, but here you see we're sort of, there's a limit on this saying only put things in the chest if it's less than 100. Oh, I didn't put the filters on these. Oh, of course, because I flipped it out for, becomes a requester chest, doesn't it? So need to make sure those are all done. I didn't know you could do the logistic filter for ages. So I did used to use the circuit network a lot, but I just tend to connect things to the logistics network and limit it overall, because if you go out building something and you come back, then as you say, they will put stuff in there, but you know, so they would take it back to that chest sort of thing. But I tend to get sometimes situations, particularly with things like rail and stuff like that, or if I've hard limited the chest or things like that, that there could be some storage, and particularly here where I'm connecting it across, you know, there's going to be multiple places with filters on that I'm constructing and deconstructing. You can overflow, I mean not with these, but you can overflow the chests effectively, so you then have a storage area. I mean, which I will have anyway. But this will have some random stuff in. And the bots effectively, if you put something in the chest, it basically counts as a... Oh. Oh, that's because of those requests. It counts as a filter, and they'll put the same item in there. And I don't think it has a priority for ones who have filters. Oh, why is that not set? Did all of them. I say, that may just be my imagination though. And that it does actually prioritise these, but I say, I don't trust it, basically. It's not to be trusted. Yeah, so if we make all of these, because we can make the lamps. And what I need basically is like a bunch of copper cable. And what I can actually do is effectively something similar to that, isn't it? So we can actually make this a cable system. In fact, do I really need a million cable? Not really, because these are low demand items anyway. So we can have copper coming in here, and then cable going out there, and then all of these lights and stuff have got access to it. So actually, I'll just run that up there. So we would want lights and say constant combinators. Why did I do that? That was dumb. Oh no, that works. Because the power would be there, wouldn't it? Does that need to be... Be nice for the power poles to line up, I think, like that. So can I arrange that? So if that was there, and that was there. Oh, that's not one they want to align on, is it? Or is it? So if that was like that. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm messing about with that. But yeah, so we can have lights and constant combis there. And then I don't know, say confusing myself. So we'll then have the two combinators there and the wires there. So they've then all got access to wires. And that's iron plate, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. These all then get green circuits. Trying to make it look pretty, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, same again, basically. Right, stack. So these are such low volume things that the fact that this is just one machine that basically can't cope at all with the number of wires is just like irrelevant. But what I could do, I'm thinking, is maybe we could have this on the other side as well. So this is copper then coming in there. And then we have the actual power poles. Oh no, they're just regular copper, aren't they? Isn't one of them wire? Huh. Did they change? Oh no, it's the small ones that are the wire. Okay. So that's not relevant, is it? So if they're steel there, could I have... Anyway, this one needs iron plate as well, which is kind of why I put it there. I'm just getting green circuits from there. This needs to be a little smidge of copper. No? Oh yeah, so I was saying about Eurovision, but yeah, we did very well. We came second. But I was saying earlier on there was an article on the BBC, which I sort of I don't know, it was a bit strange because the point the article was trying to make was the reason we've been losing, you know, I mean, and everyone loses apart from one, so it's a. But the reason we've been doing so badly isn't the whole, you know, Europe hates us, basically. It's that the songs have been rubbish. And the sort of the whole argument seemed to be no, Eurovision isn't you know, the voting isn't political. It's just because our songs are rubbish. And I say I would agree that our songs have been rubbish. I don't think that's a bad assessment as such. Do they stack to 50? I mean, I don't need millions of them anyway, but the trouble with that argument is that Ukraine won, and while I wouldn't say that was a bad song, do they stack to 50 or 200? Let's have a look. See, so Ukraine won. I say I wouldn't. I don't mean this in a sort of mean way of like, oh, they only won because, you know, because of the war sort of thing. Yeah, they stacked to 50, don't they? Definitely wouldn't say that. So it wasn't. I think if they turned up with the worst song you'd ever heard, they probably wouldn't have done quite as well. Certainly with the judges, the jury vote. But if you think it didn't win because of the war in Ukraine, then you're being a bit naive. Because it got, if you look at the numbers, it got basically everyone gave it 12 in the public vote. Which, you know, it was an okay song. It wasn't that good. It wasn't 12 points from everybody good. So yeah, sort of is that the argument seemed to be, you know, we did rubbish because of rubbish songs, not the politics. And then in an event where basically that, you know, the winner was entirely political. So that's not a very good argument, mate. I know what my wife informs me of, that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's okay. So it's not, none of this is meant to be like produced at rate, it's just to get some. So I think I'm happy with that. So what we got now? So we've got all of them done. I mean, speakers and stuff I probably should do more of, but I just don't. I don't find that particularly useful mechanic. You know, popping up the warnings and stuff. But say if this is meant for mega basing, then maybe I should. But so I didn't make them, did I? So it could, because there is a bit of space here. It's just that's a bit of a weird order to do things in. So maybe if I move all these up. So if this is not there, I'll just plop it up here somewhere. But if the first thing here is actually pipe production, so we have those two. Am I going to make pumps, though? Because that means doing engines. But I could do... We could make pumps with just a logistics version. Because engines are definitely in the system over there. Didn't I add pumps? I'm sure there's a machine over here. Because I was like, I might as well just stick a cheeky pump machine in here. I'm sure I did that. But so I think I've been messing about with these. Because they don't look like the final ones. So I'm sure I put one in, but I can't see it. What I could do, I don't really like this display, but if we put this on, can I see it from here? Is someone making pumps? Doesn't look like it, does it? But I say, I don't think there's the final things. Somebody's been messing about with it. That somebody being me. I know there's pumps in here being made somewhere. I think it's the one I deleted. Okay. Okay, let's just do the pipes thing. Let's not get too distracted. For a change. Just a normal thing. What do I do? Just got iron plate there. That. Connect you to the logistics network and say, let's just do a big number, 1,000. And 500. It's always good to have a few pipes. Pipey pumpy. And then I can also line them up and it's a bit prettier. Bonus. Although it's now missed off there. So, need a filter on that, don't I? Did I do all of these filters? Yep. Cool, okay. Right, so, now that those made, let's say the pump one, could I just tack that on the end? Not a fan, because you need this, because if we're doing, like I say, I could logistics request it over. No, I think we'll take this as sort of an attempt at a unit, as it were, so we'll try and keep the rover ports sort of in line, maybe. Give that a go. Speakers on a 5K base every time a rocket launch happens. Somebody has been messing with my single player base. Yes, that cheeky monkey. Let's do that a bit less weird. Cheeky monkey's been messing about. Oh, because that now needs to go to there anyway. So if I do that and that maybe, because this doesn't need greens, does it? So we can just make that green filter. Nope. Other way around. So the reds are then automatically there. Hopefully for that machine. Not massively keen on that. Maybe if I do that. assume your factory's on hold until you've sort of beaten Elden Ring, is it, Grim? Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, okay. So these guys are steel, copper, because we haven't got any storage tanks either. And these guys need, you see, that's red circuits, you see. This is where I get into this thing of adding things into the mix and just adding more and more machines on. And it's like the classic problem of, well, actually they're not even going to make them because, you know, I mean, this is sucking up red circuits like you wouldn't believe. And everything, basically. Now, I've sort of auto-limited it by the fact that it's got one cog machine. But yeah, it'll just happily chew away on anything you can feed it, basically. And I say, if I then stick, you know, something using steel on the end here, it's never going to get any steel, basically. Yeah, okay, so I'm happy with that. But what we probably need now is what? So we've got all of those. Well, we've got those two. The pumps, I say. Because that uses plate and steel, doesn't it? Steel, engines and pipes. Because I think we'll put something on here that is these guys. Because we've got the steel. We could do another line of iron plate, but we lack the red circuits. So we could do a mixed. Because these do need red circuits, don't they? Yeah. But all of these only need green, don't they? I'm just wondering, if I put a proper red circuit line on here, is that going to be better, as it were? Or this is a mixed red circuit line? Because they need greens. So we could make this a solid green line. Solid green circuits. Would it then be better if the iron plate was the other way around? No, because we don't want those long-handed. Really. That's fine. But if that was a red circuit, then that would mean we could feed that one. We'd need copper. We need copper. Oops, copper for the others anyway. So we'd need another copper. What, get 3 copper? So it could be a half steel and half red. Because I'm starving this no matter what I'm doing, so it's sort of irrelevant. And feeding it, you know, all of everything is. I mean, actually, I could do both, couldn't I? But it would then be. Well, I could actually curve it round, couldn't I? So if this was an attempt to do all of the power ones, copper, then we got steel there. Okay. So what else would we need? So if we're doing medium power poles, we need sticks. That's what we're lacking. Sticks. Sticks. Because they will need copper. But here you go, you see. This is... That'd be perfect there. Because it's then got... We could make the sticks. It's got copper, but not the steel. So where will we get the steel from? Well, I can do a steel line, sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. But here we've got steel. Just need sticks. So if we did another... Or maybe I make that a half and half lane, because that's all I'm putting on there, isn't it? And then we could also potentially put those in, because we would have iron plate, steel, right there. Yeah, I think that works, because we've already got all the belts done. We've done them. I don't think I've ever used iron chests in anger in any of my playthroughs. It always seems like a redundant step to me. That'll give me storage tanks. We've got all the inserters. Pumps. I keep going back and forth on pumps. I mean, we could do pumps. Because we now got iron plate here somewhere. If this was a mixed... No, this was going to be mixed, wasn't it? So we could make some pipes. Because basically we can have a rods machine here. Pipes machine somewhere here. And then I can just request in engines, because I know for sure they're being made in the system, made in the science area. So we just request some engines. And then what have we got? We've got all of the power, all of the pipes and pumps. We obviously don't have any of that, but I mean, they're rail, as I say, I'm already making, so it's just the relatively simple low volume stuff. Obviously spiders and all that's a different question. Got bots already, got all of the chests, got all of them that I want. Need to think about concrete and stuff separately. Awesome. Right, let's just organise this one. Very much, you know, I play Factorio stupid amount. Buy myself out. I go back to it later. I'm not too good on specs to run games, but did you check the processor recommended for Elden Ring? I didn't know. I hadn't thought about that, actually. I know there were some PC performance issues. We are getting into the territory where games are starting to get ahead of my machine. So yeah, that's a good point, actually, Grim. Problem is, I moaned about this before. I really need to move. I really don't like it here. Wait, what am I doing there? That needs to be there. That needs to be a copy. In order to move, as you know, because I rent, I'm going to need to find a deposit from somewhere. Which basically, that's all the money I had for upgrading. Because although I didn't actually pay a deposit on this, all a bit weird, but you sort of get the money back if the landlords and letting agents are going to play ball. Why did I try and move that? Because that's copper. We want that there. Oops. Because you need steel and iron plate. Wait. Steel's on the other one. That's iron plate, not not that one. So that's iron plate. Core i7 8700 and AMD. Okay. A minimum one. So yeah, that's in the territory where. Actually, I don't think I could. Well, I could probably run it, but it'd be pretty horrible, performance-wise, I think. Because it's 7700 mine. It's that old. I think I'm gonna have to get one on. I don't usually get pre-builds. I normally actually. What do I need here? So I need the pipes. And I need a requester. Does this need red circuits? Normally build my own machine. But, so this is just going to become green. So it's a 4 lane of green coming in. And these guys are now going to need access to that. If everything's crossing over, why don't I just swap sort of 6,500 the other, isn't it? Just if they're all taking from the opposite lane, it's just these aren't. Just they don't. None of these need reds. Oh, you need reds. Okay. Why didn't you say? Typical. And then you need steel. Yeah, so we are getting into territory where modern games I can't run. There's obviously an argument that perhaps, therefore, I should play some of my millions of backlog games instead. But when has that ever stopped me? Right, and then we have a requester. Oh, I'll put there. Oh, a lot better, you're right. May as well go with a 12900, go big, and then don't need to go for several years. AMD's new one's coming out. Just about everything else on Booty is about mine. I'll just about scrap the rest of the recommended specs. Video card is good. You can ignore min CPU specs for the most part. Unless it's things like Flight Sim 2020 or other CPU-bound games. Then most generally. Yeah, so it's a bit of a hodgepodge of a system. It's sort of a it's a 2800 Ti graphics card, so it is a bit of a. I mean, obviously, the whole 3000 series has come out, but it was sort of, you know, the best for a while, that graphics card. But yeah, I can't play Flight Sim. I did give it a go when it came out, but it's just impossible. It's basically, it runs at 3 frames a second basically because it is massively CPU limited. But the rest is it's like. I mean, obviously the motherboard is quite old because the CPU is quite old, but I've got pretty quick RAM in it and lots of it, sort of thing. And there's and it's an SSD and stuff like that. So I've upgraded it, like you're supposed to. It's just the CPU is so old that it's starting to get to that point where some things I can't play on it basically. I mean, it's not really. I can probably limp along with most of the things I want to play, but, I'm a gigantic nerd, so I want a new PC anyway. It's just, as I say, I'm not quite sure. If I was happy staying here, longer term, then it's it's why I've been saving that money up, sort of thing. But I do want to go, because it's not a very nice area. Is the honest truth? Maybe that's snobbish of me, but it's not. So, if we get 50 pumps. When you live somewhere where people have thrown rocks at you, I would say that's not a very nice place to want to stay. Right, so we want, say, 50 of them. And now, do I want to get a few of them? I mean, I can't really see it sort of making a lot, but maybe we want 100 of them, maybe. Yeah. And then quite a few of those, I guess, the old mediums. Oh, crikey. That's what I'm running, 20 but my CPU i7 3930. I just built the R9 system last December. That's what I really need. A full card guy. 1080 Ti. I gamed like forever on a 1080 Ti. I had that for ages and ages and ages. I got the 2080. I got done, as it were. I should have paid a bit more attention. I mean, I didn't, but I got it, and then it wasn't that long before the 3000 series was like announced. It was a while before they actually came out, but I basically sort of got them, and then 6 months later, the 3000 series was there, and it was, it's a significant step up from the 2000 series. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I prefer to do it this way with the things. Right. I want that on there. And we want, say, 100 of them. And this wants to be... Maybe I want a few more of them, actually. No, let's leave it at that. A couple of stacks worth. No, actually, I normally carry 100, so... Let's make that a little bigger. Did I set that to 100? I did. 50 on there. Cool, okay. Ti a few months after launch. Upgrade from 690, crikey. That is quite a while. Last time I looked, just an update card was more than new PC. Crazy. I don't think I'm changing cards anytime soon. They are starting to sort of get close to the RRP and stuff now, because obviously the arse has fallen out of crypto full stop, but also mining was kind of dying off a bit. And China's obviously opened up a bit more, so I think they're actually starting to do some of the manufacturing. Well, I suppose it's Taiwan more than China as such, but yeah, so I think availability is going up, but I suspect before we really see improvement in supplies, they'll have launched the 4000 series, because that's meant to be just around the corner. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 3000 series is sort of a bit of a one of those cards that everyone wanted, And then by the time they could actually find one and afford one, the next generation was already out, sort of thing. This doesn't have access to iron plate, does it, if I do that? So we'll have to do a little underground now. Shall I just test some of this then? Might as well. Give it a go. It's only 20 minutes left. It's flown by. I said before, I really love doing this. So I forgot to set it. So sort of apologies for that, Ellie, but I don't prefer not to have any too much in the way of... I mean, what you said's fine, actually, but... prefer... It wasn't I... Actually, was I... No, let's do them as full lanes. But it could actually be half lanes, those, I think. But sort of... I should stop saying it because somebody got a bit miffed, and I don't blame them. When I said about backseating. So I don't blame them because I handled it a bit poorly, but... So for this one, I'm sort of... It's just for me, this. It's, you know, I say... They did put some blooming barrels on. There we go, get rid of them. But yeah, this is entirely for me, really, so I'm not with too many tips as such, but... So it's not a problem what you were saying. I say I need to stop using the word backseating because I think it upsets people. Not surprised as such. I could put some modules in this, couldn't I? I'm not intending to like module many of these machines, but why did I put 2s in? What does that then produce? 70%, 2.25. But it's going to get, yeah, backed up, so it would need one of those at the very least, maybe 2. Yeah, it's too chunky. So if we flip that around there, probably can't get all of them on the belt. Is it backing up still? Yeah, of course it is. So, slow it down with a bit of bonus stuff. Okay, so it's emptying out at least now. Cool. And it wouldn't be... This is a weird test because it wouldn't be like this. This is like the upgraded version. Whatever. You are working. That's a bit of a surprise. Yeah, and that's obviously focusing on the undergrounds first. So I could put some of the pipes in a chest if I'm not on the main system. At the main science bit. And this is greedily eating all of those. You're not really getting enough steel, but you are basically eating the entire belt. So it's not a surprise as such, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. They're all done, aren't they? It's getting there, getting there. That's obviously waiting. Guess there's no engines knocking about. Have I got any? Can't see them. If I have. Must be on here and then... There must be some way of organising this that's sensible. Obviously this is just me randomly adding rubbish to it, but... Or some button that'll clear it off in some way. There they are. Right. So if I put some of them in there. So obviously the steel. I say I don't know why I've put yellow belt on it, because it would be at blue belt. In fact, let's just do that. I don't want to upgrade all the inserters. So, yellow to blue. Yellow to blue. Yellow to blue. La, 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 la. Having the 4000 series or 5000 goes back to what the 2000s are. 2080 runs cool, where 3080 runs very hot. Never thrown at it, pushes it past 60 degrees C. Okay. Brand new PC. You may be disappointed there. My understanding is that basically the 5000 series is almost like having a mini PC in your PC. And I know, I mean, in a sense, that's what graphics cards have always been. But it's like 1000 watt. Well, the top one, the 4080 Ti or whatever they end up calling it, is like 1000 watts. It's like, you know, it's mega powerful, and so obviously it's going to produce an enormous amount of heat as well. That, you know, I think that because, you know, you get these leaks on the benchmarking sites where basically the benchmarks are like registered on the sites, and you can work. They obviously give them code names, but it's not difficult to sort of work them out. I bought a new PC for 2K. A friend that wants my old PC for 600 quid with no hard drives. Source Edge is back on if you want to do a raid when you finish. Yeah, I could do. Give that a go. If he gets your seal of approval. I say I need to get more confident with doing that sort of thing. I just feel partly embarrassed for one thing, but so I do sometimes worry about taking the raid to someone who's going to be blind or whatever. Also, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think anyone who watches me would be nasty, but you know, you don't want. So this is pointless now, isn't it? Because I got rid of that. You don't want to take someone, you know, to a channel of, you know, something that they just wouldn't watch, don't like, you know, that sort of thing. So I'm going to say, I know that's deliberately slow, but if I am definitely going to end here, you know, end a line, we could probably sneak something in, like double it up, basically. So like have a second one there. So with this being the upgraded one, whoops. Put that there. I say, you know, one of the things with it, but then I feel sort of, I don't know, guilty, but it's like, people raiding has been a massive help, you know. I mean, I did the whole affiliate thing simply because I fluked out with a reasonable raid, so it does feel like I should be reciprocating. Yeah, we're all very angry Apex Valorant players. Screw the KD ratios life. Yeah, happy with that. I say it's not meant to be massive, you know, at rate production or anything. But it does seem to be sort of running, sort of working. I say that's the sticking point there. So we could put some, say, being end. Would 3 be too much? That slows it down too much, I think, doesn't it? What are you doing? You're giving a fair amount. In fact, I might shift it more towards speed. And maybe it could do with a... Whoops. Still coping. What about you? Now the other two are too slow. So we could... I say... Really all that necessary? But... whatever. Okay, so it's sort of producing them an okay rate. And that's still chunking away. Cool, okay, so I need to work out the lower versions of those, because I think everything would probably be unlocked. But this is probably going to actually be like one of the first things I build, so... When I did the list, as it were, on here, I did try and think about the order that I would do them in. I'm wondering if this is actually... I need to get rid of the tags, but this is actually maybe the first one. You know, because it's got the pipes in it and chests and things like that. And then I could just do the whole thing of, you know... Because a lot of it I wouldn't have actually unlocked when it's at the yellow belt version, so... You know, just overstamp it as the recipe's getting unlocked. Cool, okay. How are we doing? 10-2. Right, so... What's left? It would be the rail stuff, really, would be next. Oh, hello. Wish to back. Oh, no. Another blooming spam bot. Not had one of those in quite a while, actually. What? That's spam. Bot account. Close. I assume that's meant like some reference to Tupac Shakur or something. Oh. It's not auto delete the message as well. No, I don't know. It's basically done anyway. Good old spam bots, eh? They do act on them. I don't know if it's an automated system, but they do ban them. Hey baby, you want to be famous? You want to be in the movies? I'll make you famous. Yeah. There's someone whose streams I watch, they get a lot of porn spam bots, so the bots come in and basically advertise, you know, porn sites or whatever, and gambling as well, and it just seems... I don't know, I guess it must work. I guess people must click the links or whatever, but... And even, you know, whether they're genuine things or, you know, phishing or, you know, malicious things. So, you know, I guess it must work, otherwise why would they do it, sort of thing. But if you're getting your, you know, your links to pornography from some spam bot on, you know, YouTube or whatever, or Twitch, then that's a very strange way of doing it, I would have thought. But there you go. So yeah, so I say it's the train bits next, I think. Did I put uranium on here? I did, okay. Because we could just set up... So what I'm thinking with the... on here... with the military... is that rather than do one of my builds where I, you know, have an entire separate thing making... Because what difference does... I basically have like an extra thing that I add on, is what I'm thinking. And it's basically, I stamp it on the end here. Because this is where the ammo's coming in. The ammo's being done there. And effectively, I could flip these round, you see. Turn them into requesters to do recycling. And then we could have an actual, you know, production area here as an additional thing, as I say, making uranium ammo. Because it's quite slow, uranium ammo. Yeah, 14 seconds. You know, rather than a separate... Because I need to get away from this thing where I have entirely separate builds. For exactly the same things. It's a bit dumb. Well, it's a lot dumb. The question then is whether I process... Because I guess I need a general processing thing. Because I am quite keen to do my sort of self-contained coal liquefaction to nuclear fuel thing. You know, to nuclear, you know, fuel for trains. I always quite like doing that. But we're going to need somewhere making, you know, uranium ammo. And we're also going to need uranium fuel for nuclear power, because I always like doing that anyway. Okay. What I was just wondering is, because I like using the shotgun as well. I like that. Oops. Now what I was wondering is, can I have a little thing stamped on the end here that does shotgun shells? Because I seem to recall they're very similar things, like similar ingredients, and I think, I mean, deliberately so. So copper and steel and regular shotgun shells. The tricky bit is going to be this bit, because that uses iron plate and copper, and my iron plate is stopping there. Because just need, you know, one machine is fine, sort of thing. How would I get that? Would that, one of these wouldn't reach all the way, would it? No. Literally one tile off. So I could tweak this to be like that. And then the remainder could go that way. Oh, it's replaced the bell. Didn't mean to do that. Dev's been too helpful, you see. So that's the iron plate coming through. And then this has then got copper on it anyway, and steel. So I can just have a little extra bit here that makes a little bit of ammo, a little bit of shotgun. Copper. Because that's mixed copper and steel, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And then, I don't know, 400 or so. Where is it? There it is. The trouble is, doing that, that's a later tech, and so I wouldn't have any shotgun. But then I put shotgun shells in here, didn't I? I think they're in here somewhere. There they go, shotgun shells. So I'd probably have some shotgun shells. You know, I could keep that hanging around for a bit. And then when it comes to the time I've done the research, we can just do the armor piercing ones there. Because that's copper, steel, regular shells. It's obviously 2 to 1, but say it's just, you know, although I like it, I'll probably end up using half, you know, using virtually nothing. Do I want to, you know, bring it over? Don't think it makes any difference, does it? So if we just sort of get rid of that. Yeah, okay. And then these guys just need 238 and piercing. So if it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it's one tile up, but if that's a annex to that, as it were. And these guys could be getting the armor piercing from there. And then... Oh. I mean, do I really need 6 machines? Could I instead do that? In fact, that would sort the problem of... like that. So this requests in... Where is it? Them. Let's do, say, 500. Oh, no, that's probably a bit heavy. It's only 1 per round, isn't it? Yeah. So 200 of them. And then we want that to be, I don't know, 2,000, say. Oops. Filter on that. Guess I could stick some speeds in it. I don't, you can't do prods in them, can you? No. Cool. So that then gets me, you see, the vast majority of what I use in terms of military. I mean, well, that's not true, really. I suppose there's the flamethrower and stuff. Oh, that's a point. I'm not actually bringing crude oil here, am I? No. I hate that they changed that. Or I think they changed it anyway. In my head they did. Annoying. Because this flamethrower, I mean, I'll probably make atomic bombs and have a thing for it, but since they made it so that it scars the map, I really hate them. They are occasionally useful for big areas, but the real one is artillery shells. So that'll proper dedicated production of them. But we can have that tied to the radars. Because we're already making walls. Gates is like a on a needed basis. Turrets obviously then is a production thing with radars and artillery shells. But I think artillery shells are going to be one of the things that I needed like a dedicated factory for. I like using landmines. They're not brilliant, but I like them aesthetically, so we'll have to do them as well. That's almost all the military stuff sorted then, apart from obviously spider and stuff. We've obviously all pretty much got that done. There is the question over coal liquefaction to fuel. Oh, it's gone 6. Cracking. Right, yes, so that's it for today. We could do, next time I do this, I'll have to think about what I want to stream next week, because I'm tempted to do 2 Crashed Oreo 2s, because we're just getting into the good stuff with Crashed Oreo 2, because I've just got to the immersite stuff, and I'm almost tempted to flip that to a, you know, permanent, you know, like a both days stream, and see how quickly I can get it done in a sense. Because I need to like catch up. Well, I mean, the next thing I need to do with this really is test it, like properly test it, play it through using these blueprints, find all the errors and problems. Whether I want to stream that or not, I'm not sure. I should do, but it's a good, you know, good 6 or so streams to get to the point where it's all at this stage. And the aesthetic series, I haven't managed to do the things I said I was going to do. Right. So we'll do a raid then. So if we didn't want to go to the source age, I'll just pop me, because I'll chop this bit off on VOD. Chop the raid off. But where the heck is OBS? There it is. So I'll pop the schedule up. So for anyone watching who isn't aware, I stream weekends basically. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I'll be back tomorrow with more Satisfactory. We'll be continuing the nuclear. I didn't do that on Friday because I wasn't really in the headspace to do it. But I've been prepping this morning. I've like ferried a load of material over, so we should be able to build the nuclear power plants. I don't think I'll set them running. I think they'll just be there ready for when I need them, because I don't want to stack up tons and tons of nuclear waste. You know, for no reason in a sense, because we don't need the power, but it'll be ready to go. So that'll be tomorrow. That messing about with uranium. Next week, as I say, will be the normal schedule. I'm tempted to do Factorio 2 both days for Factorio, and it'll just be, I'll probably be back to the grind on Satisfactory, trying to get the foundry done. But I might just start the steel one, because that'll be a bit more interesting. Or we could go and fiddle about with the old remote factory, make plates and whatchamacallits, reinforced plates and that. That might be a bit more interesting. Yes, so I say that's the regular schedule up there. If you wanted to find me, obviously, if you're watching the VOD, I'm on Twitch, and you can find the schedule there. And then if you wanted to catch the VODs for any of these YouTubes, any of the series, it's on my YouTube channel, which is Trismegistus, but alias 2 Triggles. I've also got Twitter. Don't really use Twitter a lot, but I usually post when I'm going live, if you wanted to do that. And the other option is Discord. The intention with the Discord is to start using it to try and set up multiplayer. I'd quite like to give, potentially do like some community multiplayer type things for any of the normal games I play. Obviously, both Satisfactory and Factorio have multiplayer. Dice program. I think it's a mod, isn't it? But it seems to work quite well from what I've seen. But the main thing, I'm actually doing a practice with somebody who's already contacted me. The question really is whether my machine, well, no, it's not really my machine, whether my internet can cope with me hosting multiplayer. And that's what I'm going to be sort of testing out. But if you were interested in that, then I say there is a Discord there. Feel free to join up. And when it's, looks like, because otherwise I don't mind paying for like, a server, a remote server. But I kind of need to know, whether it's going to be worthwhile in a sense. So if you're interested in doing some of that, then there's Discord there, and we will be. It's one of the many things on my list, along with, all the emoticons and all that sort of stuff. I need to get on with basically. So that's me. So we will do. Oh yes, I'll just sign off. So if you're watching, thanks for doing it, and hope you enjoyed it. I might consider come back for another. I've been Just Resistors. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching.